Alright guys, today I wanted to make a quick video just about my experience in SMMA for about 2 months now. It's been way more than 2 months from when I first started learning about this whole thing. It's been forever. It's felt like this has been my life for so long. And I just wanted to talk about what it actually takes to win as an agency. You could even see on my wall what I'm doing is I'm actually like keeping track of each day. I'm writing down, okay, well, how did I do today? Was it good? Was it okay? Was it bad? And I write it all on the wall. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of okay days. I have a lot of good days, and I also have some bad days. It helps, because then you're able to analyze exactly how you performed on any given day. Where I'm at is a really weird spot. In fact, it's something that I wanted to make a video about just because you guys are going to face this too, and this is exactly what either propels you or prevents you as an agency. In the journey to find your first client or your second client, you're going to run into so many problems, and I'm just saying it now because it's going to happen. You're going to run into so many problems. You're going to work with people that you maybe shouldn't have worked with in terms of clients. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but there is a right way of going about this. I've been as efficient as possible. I've been getting really good at selling things, and that's kind of what happens, is that you become a salesman. And I want to just clarify that, guys, SMMA is not really a job in the sense of that it's like a profession. The best thing to learn when becoming an SMMA owner is just being a good salesman, because that's what you do. It's your job to be a good salesman, to sell anything. Like, you need to be able to sell anything. It is so saturated to the point where you could call any business right now, they'll want to hang up the phone because they just get it all day, or nobody likes cold calls. Who the hell likes cold calls? You have the burden of proof on you when you're doing a cold call. They don't want you to sell them. They might want to buy if you persuade them enough and if you kind of show an offer that's attractive enough, but they don't want to buy from you. No one wants to buy anything from a cold call. You have to be drastically different from everybody else that's doing them, which is kind of bringing me to my point here, is that if you want to get things that nobody else has, you have to do things that nobody else does. And I'm realizing in the agency space, the way this works is that there's always like the most popular niches, right? For example, med spas, roofing, all this stuff. There's so many popular niches that everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the most saturated one, let me not do that. In reality, what happens with these niches is that people just come in there in sort of waves, but then they come out as well, because they stop working on the niche, and they just go, they pivot somewhere else, and they go somewhere else, and they go somewhere else. The issue with this is that everyone does that. Everyone hops niches, so then no one specializes. Everyone's just learning the process without specializing in the actual service. Because the key is, like, this is a business just like anything else is. You need to know your target audience. You need to know exactly what they want. You need to know them better than they know themselves. The saturation thing is really just where the beginners and the amateurs, the novices, whatever, that's where they quit. And then the people that are masters, they're the ones that have just stuck with that same niche through all the periods of saturation. Because you gotta understand, before this, years ago, gyms were probably saturated. Gyms were probably the most saturated thing. And so everyone was scared to get into gyms, right? But people that are in gyms now, and the ones that actually sort of endured that entire process and they stayed in it the whole time, they're winning like crazy now, because they've been doing it for years, and they've been sticking to the same niche with a particular service and a certain target audience. You get really good at that, and that's what I'm learning, is that now I'm becoming like a med spa master, which is what I'm realizing just because I've been in this niche for so long. It felt like, even though I just started doing outreach a few months ago, I've been in this niche and learning about this niche for so long before that. That's how it works, is that you get really good at what you do when you specialize in it. And so, yes, this is a message to never switch niches. You should choose wisely when you start, but you should never really switch after that. To get into my specific experience, especially as like a new agency owner, is that there are so many hardships that you'll have to face. What happens is you will fail miserably because you're not really ready. Like, no one's actually ready by just saying, okay, I'm gonna start my SMMA today or tomorrow. Like, you're gonna run through a bunch of different problems, and then you're gonna need to come up with some crazy solutions, and that's the only way. What happened with me is, like, we onboard 2 clients, we realize that we're adapting ourselves too much to this client. We're changing what service we offer because they're not like the exact person that we wanted to work with. They didn't have like the right services. They didn't have Botox and derma fillers. We market mainly for those 2 services, and we had to change our stuff to like body contouring, and we had to make a new ad for them. We had to change our services completely to just cater to them. And that showed us that, like, okay, well, this isn't working as well, obviously, because if you just change your system and what you've been preparing for, it's gonna not be as good. So that wasn't working as well. My recommendation is just to do a bunch of outreach and to handle outreach and to focus all of your attention onto outreach and booking as many sales calls as possible, so that even if you have 10 people, you can't handle 10 people, you still have 10 people to choose from. And you could kind of manage it so that you work with this one in a week, and you work with this one right now, and then maybe in a month I'll work with this guy. And you can kind of pace it out until you have $5,000, $10,000 made. You should just be doing an insane amount of outreach, hundreds of cold calls per day. That's what I've been doing for the past few days. And cold calls sometimes suck. Like, I started back up with cold calls after a little bit of a hiatus from cold calls, not from business, on Monday. And from Monday to, in today's Thursday, I did hundreds of cold calls a day. Maybe, if not, some days were like a bit less than 100, but something like that. I didn't close anyone until today. I closed 2 people today, right? for a meeting, but those 3 days right before today, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, did not close anybody. But I did hundreds of cold calls across those 3 days, like 300, 400, 500, whatever. I did a ton. Didn't close anybody, right? I was on maps. I was looking through all the different med spas. Didn't close any of them, but I still kept going. Today I did way less cold calls than the past few days, and I closed 2 people, because that's just how it works sometimes. It's just a lot, and some days could be life-changing like that, and some days could just be monotonous. And that's why it's like, I would just recommend that you just keep going, and you don't get out of your niche. You stay in that niche. You keep on doing outreach, and eventually you'll just have to win. Like the law of action, it's every action in nature has an equal and opposite reaction, right? It's Newton's third law. It's gonna happen. It's how it works. It's how life works. So I'd really just advise you to never stop. Yeah, I'm finding that out. Of course, I knew this going in, because I made sure that I understood how sort of nuanced anything related to entrepreneurship is. Well, when you experience it, it'll hit you like a train. We've gone through some crazy moments. Like I'll give you an example. We were working with somebody. We messed something up on their account. Like we made a mistake. Their account was only 1 review away from being banned. And if they had another disapproved ad, then they would have been banned. So we had to drop them. We didn't want to take that on, because if we got their Facebook account banned, then we would put ourselves in a terrible situation right at the start as an agency, which would be terrible. So that's why it's like, there's certain things like that just hit you, and then we lose that client just like that, because we made some stupid mistake and caused this eruption to happen. And they weren't happy about it. They were super mad at us. We've been working setting them up and onboarding them, and they've been really slow, and it's been really tedious with them, and then all of a sudden the plug just gets pulled, because that's how it works. And then you have to just continue working through that, man. And that's what we're doing. The consistency in which you do outreach, the more you continue to endure all the issues that pop up and present themselves, the more you'll win. It's like every single time something bad happens, something amazing happens right around the corner, and that's the beauty of it. 3 days of hundreds of cold calls. It doesn't feel good to do hundreds of cold calls and not close anyone. Just get no, and just get receptionists, and just never get on the phone with owners, and when you do, even not close them. Like, you get on the phone one day and you just close them like that, and it's as simple as that, and you move forward with it, man. And so I hope you enjoyed. Again, there's a few things that I can offer you, and that is, if you are just starting out and you're listening to me just rant about this, and you want to start your own agency, then you could click the link in the description. You could get full guidance to start your own agency, all the way up to your first client and beyond. We'll work with you literally until you get your first client, and most people have gotten their first client within the first few days of being in the product, which is kind of insane. You could check it out. I'm not going to try and sell it to you. It's just that people have actually gotten their first clients within the first few days of joining us, just because it's a good product. Other than that, thank you for watching. Join the Discord and become a part of the community of like-minded individuals grinding at the same thing. Join the community, link in the description as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and expect a lot of content coming soon, because we've got some May madness coming up. So yeah, see you guys in the next one.